Hey everybody, it's the Rideshare Reseller Mike here. It is the night before Thanksgiving and I'm going to have a video here. This one's a little different. This one's how I caught my eBay scammer. Yes, I did. I finally caught one. Caught him dead to rights. Caught him trying to scam some item from me. And anyhow, I'm going to talk about that and show you what I got and go over a few things. First, some people are going to look in the back and they're going to see my two little elves back there. Those were bought today. Those are two Goodwill finds. I paid $25 for both of them. They are antique blow molds made in the USA, and they sell for about $75 a piece. Shipping's a little bit pricey, but they should sell pretty easily. I hope. I want to get rid of them quick, so that's my goal. And if you look right behind them, you're going to see a tall nutcracker kind of thing sitting on that fireplace. That was a pretty cool find. I happened to be in the same Goodwill with the blow molds, and on a cart came this, it's about 32 inches, not 32 inches, it's 28 inches tall. 28 inches tall nutcracker. And I was with another picker, and he quit, and we were both going for the cart, and he went for something else, and he had a chance at that nutcracker, but I went for the nutcracker. And when I picked the nutcracker up, it is from a artist named McDowell out of Canada, signed limited edition out of 500. I think that's number 86 out of 500. There is one comp of $5.99 all over the web. They're anywhere from $3.99 to $5.99. So really cool find there, and I already have them up, so you can check them out. And I do not have the death pile, folks, so I got those today, and they're already up. I do not have one item available to list. All my items are on the web as we speak. All right, let's get over to my scammer friend. Let me call up a screen here, show you the item he purchased. Let me make it a little smaller so you can see me sort of. All right, the item that he purchased is something called the Vintage Select Antenna AM Signal Booster. Now I have both of them here because you probably realize now I have both back, or both. I'm going to show you what it is. Okay. This is what it is. And it is a Selecta antenna. It's vintage. You put it by your radio, and then you dial in the same frequency on the Selectorama. You dial that in, and that gives you a signal boost. So if you're out in a weird spot, you get a better signal, basically. So that was the item that was purchased. If you take a look, I'm going to show you, I blocked out a lot of stuff, but you'll look at his feedback. He had 100% feedback on 1,315 purchases and buys, combination thereof. And most of these scammers are pretty much like this guy. You're just not going to know it because the way eBay works is you're not allowed to, it's so skewed towards the buyer that you're not going to win many of these cases. You're just not. It's almost impossible. You have to get lucky like I did to win one. So you have to really do some preemptive strikes to try to help prevent some of these guys. It's kind of like, you have the guard dog sign in one house and the other house doesn't have the guard dog sign. The thief is going to maybe forget the guard dog house sign, not interested in that, and go to the house that doesn't have the sign. Same kind of thing. So you've got to put some preemptive things in your advertising to let these scammers know that you know that they potentially will. Not everybody does it, but you have to protect yourself, okay? We'll get into that in a second. So anyhow, he purchases this from me, okay? Then I get a note that he wants to return the item. And the reason for it is it's too big and will not fit on his shelf. That's what he told me. So what are you going to do? You have to basically either let him keep the item and refund him the money, or you have to ask for it back. And I always ask for it back 95% of the time. The other two times are when it's just really not worth it, and or if it's broken. Then I tell them to, some of the things that I do to prevent people from scamming me on that part is if it's an electrical item, I have them drag the cord by the serial number of the unit and cut the cord when I tell them I need it to be destroyed. If it's a glass item, they say it has a chip, I want the glass broken, basically. Things like that. But dragging the cord by the serial number and cutting the cord, at least, that shows me that it's being disposed of because it is broken and no good. All right. So he asked for the return. I get the return back, and inside the return is a letter, or not a letter, but it is a copy of an eBay purchase of a similar item, same item, but it's not mine. So I'm thinking, well, why is this piece of paperwork in here? And he made a mistake. Here's his mistake. He sent this to me by mistake. He made a purchase on September 20th, about a month and a half prior to mine, for the same item from another seller. So now my antenna went up, and I thought, okay, I'm being scammed, but I have some potential recourse here. I got to take a look and see what I can do with this. So anyhow, I then went to the other seller's account, and I was starting to look around to see if the other seller, where this other item was. So what I found was, yes, there it is on his account, the same radio. Okay, so I found that. Now the kicker was, I needed some proof that the other guy was there and bought it. So I was hoping that he left feedback. I was thinking, please have left feedback. So I went to the second seller's feedback, and lo and behold, there it was. I found it. He did leave feedback. So my buyer left feedback on the other seller's item. And it says here, if you look at it, it says very big. It works with my Sanguine radio. You're going to notice here, that's 1315. That's the same feedback number he has from that was showing on mine. Okay, so it was interesting. So those matched up. I have blocked out the lettering, and that matched also. If you look here, eBay always puts the first and a few other initials and blocks it out. Well, that matched up too. So I knew that this here now was my buyer. My buyer had bought a radio about a month and a half. An antenna a month and a half prior to mine. So now I said, oh my goodness, okay, either the guy dropped this one that he bought from the first seller and it's broke, it doesn't work, or something along those lines. Did he buy the second one? And he bought the second one so that he could get a new one and swap out and give me the old one. So I needed proof that the first one was not mine. So I had to somehow prove that. And I got lucky again. So I looked at the unit that came back to me. And the unit that came back to me, if you look at this very carefully, I don't know if you can see it, but there are two little white dots up in the upper part of this unit. Looks like paint. So in my mind, I have a pretty good memory. I don't remember that being on my unit. So those two white dots now were something that I could further go with. So I went back to my original listing, and just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to show you again the back of mine. There's the back of mine, okay, because I've got it back. No white dots, none. You won't see them there, okay? So I looked at my original listing of the back of mine, and there were no white dots. So then that confirmed that it wasn't my unit. Now I still needed further proof. I needed one more step. I needed to see in the original listing of the first seller, did he take a picture of the back of the unit showing the 2 white dots? So I went back to his original listing. Many of you don't know you can do that. You can. On a sold item, you go see original listing. I think it's up there for like 90 days. I believe 90 days. So lo and behold, I pull it up. It's kind of hard to see in this photo. But there are the 2 white dots. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but the 2 white dots are there. So now I have confirmation that the unit that he sent me back was the first one he bought from another seller. So now I'm hot. Number one, I'm just like, I'm tired of being scammed. I'm tired of people trying to pull things over on me. And, and what am I going to do about it? So I put together a nice little letter. It wasn't nice. It was kind of to the point. I put together a little letter within the eBay. I kept it within the eBay structure. I sent him all the photos that I had collected of the other seller's item and so forth and mine, and presented it to him. And I said, hey, what are you going to do about this? This is not cool. You've been caught red-handed, and I'm going to report this to eBay's fraud division. And I told him, I gave him basically one morning to do it. Tell me yes or no, what's going on. So he got back and he said, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, this, and that. And he said, I'm going to return your unit to you. You keep the unit you have. He didn't tell me if there was anything wrong with it. I'm going to have to test that. And, he was really sorry. Funny when you get caught how sorry you are, right? So long story short, it did go to eBay. And eBay sent me a note. It says, real simple, it says we have reviewed this case and have closed it without any refund to the buyer. Remember, he originally had opened up a case against me. The case will not affect your seller performance, okay? So I ended up winning that case, and eventually he did get a mark. I'm pretty sure he did. One thing, eBay is not going to tell you what they did to the other seller or buyer, whatever happens, whoever it is. So he basically got caught red-handed. And, I am very happy. But that's only one. I shouldn't have to go through all this. As sellers, you're going to have these problems. So if you're new to eBay, this is not just systemic to me. It's system wide. eBay needs to start protecting sellers more. You hate to go out and find an item that's $200-300 and somebody is getting that in a scammer way, and it's out there. It happens. I've had items where something's wrong with the item. And at that point, they say, hey, I need to have it come back. And they won't even package it. They'll just shove it in the box. The item will come back damaged, and you have absolutely really no recourse. It's very difficult to win any of those cases against eBay. Against the buyer. It takes something like this to win against a buyer. So you can, some of the things you got to do is serial numbers. You've got to always shoot serial numbers and put them inside your pictures, no matter what. Make them prominent. Also, in the description, try your best to say in the nicest way. We have included a picture of the serial number of the unit. Just kind of let them scammers know, hey, I'm checking my pieces here, and I'm leaving the serial number on and so forth. Then you can do. I use colored pens and different ones, not black. Black's too common. Get like a purple or a pink or something different, and then put little dots in white spaces that they might not look at. And even if they did, they'd have to go get a pink pen or a purple pen felt pen to try and match that mark if they're that devious. But then you can take off battery covers and then make little initial etches in there. Just something that's different that they're not going to see, so that when they send you a unit back, you say, hey, how come it doesn't have this? And then that's how you catch them, and then you win those. So little things like that can make a big difference and prevent some of these scammers. You got to kind of let them know that you're watching and that you need to go away. Like the neighbor who has the guard dog sign and the neighbor who doesn't, or the one who has all the security stuff and the one who doesn't. The thieves are going to go to the one who doesn't have all the security equipment, and they're going to ignore the house with all of the stuff, right? So anyhow, you got to be vigilant. This is just one scammer, and I got a little lucky. Now, it's going to be Thanksgiving. I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching, and I hope to put more content out continually as I go along. I've been very busy. I'm going to put out another video in a couple of days of sold items and how I did in November and how I've done since April 1st. Most of you know that April 1st, 2019 is when I started this, and I have some pretty good numbers up until now. So we're going to go over that, and we'll do that either Sunday or Monday. Hopefully it'll be out. And I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and thanks again. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon.